Hiringa Energy has launched Australasia's first hydrogen refuelling network in a move that it hopes will provide a commercial path for decarbonising heavy road transport in New Zealand. The network includes 3 strategically located stations at Wiri in South Auckland, Te Rapa near Hamilton and Palmerston North. Construction of a 4th station near Tauranga is progressing as part of the new State Highway 29 roading infrastructure at Tauriko. At a ribbon-cutting event in Auckland this week, Hiringa's CEO Andrew Clennett paid tribute to partners, including fuel retailer Waitomo Group and truck leasing business TR Group, but said there's plenty more work to do to take hydrogen market to the next level.
Incredibly proud of the team and incredibly proud of what we as a team and our partners have pulled off here. But that sort of sense of, we've really got to do more. And that to me just says we can do this, we can surely take it to that next level. And I think the realisation of how New Zealand can punch above its weight on this sort of thing, it can really work together. We can decarbonise our supply chains, we can protect our markets to export, we can work with, we are an export economy on the bottom end of the world. How we get our products to those markets with our carbon footprint's crucial. So this sort of thing is just so vital. It's just sort of get that sense of responsibility, if you like, of we need to make this work and we need to grow it. But yeah, very, very proud.
Clennett's wife Kathy, who is chair of Hiringa, as well as head of its commercial and corporate functions, just returned from a trip to Asia with the Prime Minister's trade mission, where New Zealand's region-leading role in the hydrogen market was reinforced.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting to have seen the response of the world to what we're doing. I think one of the reasons you'll naturally think the bigger economies are always going to be leading. In many ways and in many aspects, they are. Don't get me wrong, they're leading in some of the key developments. But what we've been able to do here, people realise, we're able to unlock these ecosystems, we're able to unlock these business models that are so much easier to do it here. And so from that, you can actually show when you get these stars to align and work in this way, when you work as a partners, when you work with an integrated electricity market, when you've got an integrated freight network and so on, you can do things that are remarkable that others really do look in and go and are quite surprised and encouraged by what we're doing. And we're seeing that, a lot of incoming, saying, hey, actually, how have you guys cracked this? Our investors, we have investors from the middle of Europe who have been in this game for many years. And they've invested in us because the way you guys are doing this, you're cracking that quandary of the chicken and egg. Our whole economy, the world economy, has seen the disruptions, and you can imagine we're in a nascent industry doing new technology in an inflationary environment, in a incredibly destabilised global trades environment. Our equipment, just the supply chains for our equipment. The components that were in war zones, that were being sourced from war zones or in COVID zones. So the delays to the build and the tenacity of our vendors also to keep going and make sure they supply. So the supply of the equipment's taken quite some time, but it's been through those sort of challenges. I guess then we look at the New Zealand side, the key thing is we've got people that really want to fill these trucks, so the enthusiasm's there. And these first trucks are here and coming. Over the next 12 months, we'll see more and more coming in. But our biggest challenge is, well, what's next? So as we need to build more, gets us going. It's not, it still needs more of a push along to really get to that full commercial sustainable model. But that's our next challenge. So the challenges to now have been getting to this point, but we need to do more. We need to have more stations. We need to have more trucks on the network we've got. And so hopefully we can see the supply chains, and we are seeing them improve. We're seeing the vendors, the truck manufacturers starting to come more and more with the products. So that's been a real challenge, is that we've built the stations. They've taken a long time, but so have the vehicles. And the vehicles are now coming. Hopefully over the next decade, we'll see thousands of these things. And you'll start to see more and more of our goods going on them, and they will be able to truly claim that the road freight has got a zero emission.
The establishment of the network has been a classic chicken and egg scenario where companies won't import trucks if there are no refuelling depots, but depots won't be built without trucks to patronise them. That's why leasing company TR Group's decision to acquire 21 hydrogen fuel cell trucks to run on New Zealand roads has been crucial to the project.
Oh, it's bloody exciting. We can't have trucks here without the fuel network. We've got 21 trucks on build at the moment, and no point building those without a fuel network. And I think it just adds to the confidence that the customers will be bringing into display to, they'll see the network, they'll see that we've got trucks coming, and that just you get more buy-in from more people. So yeah, it's an exciting day. Technically, we do own that New Zealand Post truck behind us.
Okay.
So we've got that one, and that's been operating now for just over a year, and going really, really well. We're absolutely stoked with its performance and how it, it just goes and delivers parcels every day and never plays up. So, we're hopeful that the next 21 will be the same. Doing 20 trucks at the start and 4 fuel stations between us was a big step. Unlike a battery electric truck, you can get 1 truck at a time because you can just plug it into the nearest wall and it charges. But to get hydrogen, you can't run a fuel network with 1 truck, and you can't run 1 truck with just 1 fuel station. So, not if you're wanting to be doing it line haul up and down the country. So the importance of ourselves and Hiringa and Waitomo and all of our customers that are involved in behind the scenes working together on this project has been significant, and of course the government and ECA as well. So that's been vital for us.
Once trucks are running on the network, Hiringa and its partners, including the government, hope to have evidence of the environmental benefits and economic realities they have long predicted, enabling businesses to weigh up the pros and cons of green hydrogen.
One of the things that, for the bigger picture, for the country, there's a real productivity prize, because this technology will be cheaper than diesel sort of through the next decade and by the end of this decade. So at a macro level, there's a business case, but it's very hard for individual companies in that business case because they're having to invest now for something that down the track will be there. So it has taken the companies that have got the other drivers that realise that they have to maintain their access to market, that they may have reporting requirements. But if they look at where they spend their money in decarbonising, and if they've got their scope 1, 2 and 3 emissions, the heavy transport sector, if they have heavy transport in their fleet, will typically be a very high proportion of a business, and it's one that you can address now. So, let's say $800 to $1 million worth of truck versus $12 million worth of cars for the same amount of emission reduction. So it's a very good place to make your investments. So that's if you like the macro thing that we think will trigger it. But at the moment, it is still the leaders, that are leaning in, and they realise, but they're making investment. They're starting to transition their fleet because you want to make sure you've got a zero emission fleet by the time that zero emission technology is the most cost effective. So you want to be ahead of that parity curve. To be honest, the biggest thing needed now is supporting the trucks. So we need to grow the market. And so a focus of any stimulus, of any policy really needs to look at growing the fleets. There's all sorts of incentives when we look at from the renewable energy point of view. We'll leverage that because we use renewable electricity. But really the key thing to us is stimulating those fleets, getting the next 30, the next 50, the next 80. And by the time we get to those numbers, we're hitting parity. So what we need to see, this is where we think the focus needs to be, is on helping the carriers and helping the shippers adopt these fleets. Simple as that.
To support our award-winning independent journalism, subscribe to nbr.co.nz.